Good morning, everyone. Let's do some prayers and then we'll go to our topic of the day. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Bhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat, Asto Ma Sadgamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, Mrityorma Mritam Gamya. Om Sehna Vavatu Sehna Bhunaktu Seviryam Karvavahi, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहि. ओम शांति शांति शांति. Okay, these days we are trying to understand the life stories or the stories behind these great rishis. Okay, so today we're going to look at Dev Rishi Narad. So Dev Rishi, so he is in all our scriptures, whether we open Mahabharata or Ramayana, Bhagavad Puran or any other Puran, even Shiv Puran, we see he's everywhere. And let's, through the help of certain stories, we will find out about more about him. We cannot know everything about these rishis. Our human mind cannot understand, our intellect cannot comprehend. But let's try to just go through some of the stories related to his life. Brahma, the creator, after completing the creation of the entire cosmos, he asked his four sons, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanat Kumar, to continue the task of further creation. These four sons, they refused. They said to their father Brahma, Lord, we cannot do it. We have to perform penance. So they wanted to do more tapasya. They were not interested in creating. They left the place for good. The Lord Brahma was sad. Then he asked his another son, Narad, my dear son, please help me in my great task of creation. Do not behave like your brothers. Narad was not interested in the task assigned to him either. He said, Dear father, I don't want to get entangled in this difficult task of creation. I desire to perform penance. The Lord was very angry at the ungrateful behavior of his sons. He said, What? Do you consider the task of creation so low? He said, Narad, you must leave this Satyalok. Because that's where Brahma lives, Satyalok. He said, you shall be born twice as an ordinary human being and suffer the pains of life in the world. Only then you can come back here. You should realize the trials and the tribulations of earthly life. Let your heart feel those. May the realization that the salvation of other created beings is far more important than your own, and may you regard the desires and ambitions of others with real feelings. Lord Brahma's curse began to work on Narad. He was born as the son of Chitraketu. the king of Gandharvas. He was named Upbharan. Now, as a Gandharva, he naturally loved music. He learnt music under some able teachers and attained a high degree of proficiency in it. He had a great love for stringed musical instruments. And he invented a new instrument which is called veena. He got himself initiated to Vaishnav Diksha from Guru Brihaspati himself. We all know that Guru Brihaspati is the divine preceptor of gods. And with the help of that music, Narad began to pray and meditate. Once, while he was in a deep meditation, the daughters of Chitrarath, a Gandharva, happened to pass that way. When they looked at this handsome Upbharan, instantly they fell in love with him. They decided to marry him. With the consent of the elders, the marriage of Upbharan with the daughters of Chitrarath was solemnized. And he began to live with them. He spent a number of happy years with his wives. When he realized that the day had come for him to leave Gandharva-lok, he engaged himself in deep meditation, and one day he renounced his body and his soul left for the destined place. But he had to live another earthly body or earthly life before going to Satyalok. So now he was born as a son to a housemaid in a Brahman's house on the earth. The master of the house gave the name Narad to this child. So his first name in that life was Upbharan, but now he was Narad. The servant maid had a number of relatives, but they did not take care of her. So she was a person who did not want to seek help from them at the expense of her self-respect. She lived independently with whatever she got from that family. She did not know how to read, how to write, but she was very wise. And she had only one aim in life, that was to see that her son was brought up well and made a highly cultured human being. She used to wake him up before dawn. She taught him Surya Namaskar. So he would do that every morning. Then she would give him a bath. And after that, morning food. There was a temple in the village. She would go to the temple and clean it all around. Then she would sprinkle fresh water and draw beautiful rangoli. Those are the decorative designs in front of the temple. She would do this service every day at the temple. She would do the work with great love and devotion. She firmly believed that God would be pleased with her and bless her son, and that his life would become pretty useful as a result. She did not allow her son to mix with the other village children. So she would take him to the temple and then to the house where she worked. And the child would help her in his own small ways. He would run errands for the priest and doing simple jobs for him. And he would gladly follow his mother to the house where she worked. This way, the best part of his day would be spent in the temple and in the master's house. Almost every day there used to be some festivity or the other, either in the temple or at the master's house. There were discourses by learned people on these occasions. And these discussions would be on spiritual aspects of life and God. So Narad would participate in bhajans conducted by sannyasis, saints, professionals, and revered sages. So that's how his childhood was. He would listen to the holy stories, and gradually he became wiser and mastered great knowledge about life here and hereafter. He also realized the greatness of God, and his mind was full of God and nothing else. His mind was not drawn towards activities such as recreations or games, which normal children of his age would be fond of indulging in. Once a number of great and highly learned sages came to the Brahman's house to observe Chaturmasya Vrat. Chaturmasya is a period of 4 months. Chatur means 4. And normally it is done in the rainy seasons. And those sannyasis, they spend their time in seclusion, following the strict discipline regarding food, movement, and meditation. So Chaturmasya Vrat. So these sannyasis, they stayed in the house for 4 months. What did Narad do? He served them. As a young little boy, with great devotion day and night, he would closely observe them when they did deep meditation. And those sages, they were very much impressed by the sincerity and the devotion of this young boy. He would eat whatever was left when they completed their meals. It is considered that there is an immense power in the food left by the great people. I have seen at the ashram where I grew up, the devotees, they'll almost fight over the food left over in Guruji's plate. That is considered a prasad. There is no power which would cleanse one's mind of all its evils better than that food. So this boy, young boy, Narad's mind became purer as a result of his service and company of the sages. His mind never strayed from thoughts about God. He would sit for long hours doing meditation, prayer, and other sacred activities. He would build up the beautiful image of God in his mind and concentrate on it for long hours. And in course of time, he mastered this art. At the end of the 4 months, the sages left the Brahman's house and went to their places in the forest or to the places of pilgrimage. One day, when his mother went to milk her cow, she was bitten by a snake and she died. Narad took this tragedy stoically, thinking that it was God's wish. And he left the village, went to a forest, and began to meditate on God in a lovely but lonely place, all by himself. After a long number of days, one day when he opened his eyes, he saw the beautiful form of the Lord in front of him with open eyes. Narad's joy knew no bounds, but in a flash, the form disappeared. So it was there and then it wasn't there. Narad became sad. He continued his penance in order to have another vision of the form of God. He spent long number of years of fruitless penance. He lost all hopes and became highly disturbed in mind. When he was worrying, he heard a voice. Voice said, Narad, it is enough for you for this life. I appeared before you and disappeared as quickly as I appeared. I have done it with a purpose. Let all your endeavors be for seeking me and nothing else. You will have your desire fulfilled, having my darshan in your next birth. Narad spent the rest of his life in prayer and penance and finally left his mortal remains and reached heaven. By then, life on this world had gone one full circle, and there was the great deluge and everything was destroyed. So after a very long time, Lord Brahma thought of creating the world all over again. To begin with, Prajapatis. Prajapatis are the fathers of humanity. So Brahma created those. And also the four Sanak brothers. And Narad also came out of Lord Brahma's body. Narad came out of the Lord's thigh now. One of the Prajapatis, by name Daksha, asked his sons to continue the work of creation. For that purpose, he wanted them to perform penance. They all went into secluded places and began to perform penance. And Narad also went to the place which was assigned to him. He preached them renunciation. He succeeded in changing their mind. They gave up worldly desires. And they began to follow the path of salvation. Daksh had a few more sons later, and Narad succeeded in changing their minds also towards renunciation. Daksh Prajapati became very sad. In fact, he was angry with Narad. He called Narad and said, Narad, our father Brahma had entrusted to me the task of creation. I entrusted the work to my sons. You intervened and changed their mind. They disobeyed me because of you. You don't tolerate others' happiness. I will curse you. May you keep on wandering all over the world without a fixed place to dwell in. As a result of his own brother's curse, Narad began to roam about in the three worlds. Fortunately for the world, this curse turned out to be a boon. Narad playing on his veena, and he has a name for his veena, Mahati, began to sing in praise of the Lord and roamed about doing good to all living beings. Lord Brahma had a son by name Swambhu Manu. And Manu is, there have been many Manus. That is a name given to father of the human race, Manu. And from Manu came the Manav. So this Swambhu Manu, in fact, this Swambhu Manu is the first in order of these Manus. Swambhu. He had two sons, namely Priyavrat and Uttanpad. Now I'm going to go through certain stories where how Narad helped these different great personalities whom we worship and we admire. So two sons, namely Priyavrat and Uttanpad, and King Uttanpad had two queens, Suniti and Suruchi. Suniti was the elder. King loved Suruchi more, the younger one. And king had two sons, Prince Dhruv from Suniti and Uttam from the younger queen. So two queens and two sons. One day Uttanpad was playing with Uttam and his mother. The queen was sitting beside him. King took Uttam and placed him on his lap, kissed him. Just at that moment, Prince Dhruv came running to his father. He wanted to climb up his father's knees onto his lap. The king did not welcome the child. And that Suruchi, who was sitting beside him, felt jealous of him and said, "Child Dhruv, you have not the right to sit on the king's lap. Neither have you the right to sit on the throne of this land. You may be elder son of the king, but I'm not your mother. Therefore, you cannot succeed your father. You are born of some other woman. You are trying to achieve the impossible. You don't know what you are doing. If you are desirous of climbing the throne, go to the forest, perform penance, please Lord Shriman and with his grace you may be born as my son, and only that would give you the right to claim the throne." Is it clear to you? Dhruv was shocked at first to listen to his stepmother's words. But this shock turned into an anger. Like a wounded cobra being hit by someone with a stick, he began to breathe heavily, and it sounded like a snake's hissing. He looked at his father. Poor king looked at Dhruv helplessly, without even uttering a single word. The young prince felt humiliated. He began to sob and ran to his mother. And he reported to her how he had been ill-treated and humiliated. The queen felt very sad. When she heard what Dhruv said, quickly she composed herself, began to speak soothing words to her son. "My dear child, don't cry. Calm yourself. Don't scold your stepmother. Don't wish bad things for others. Those who harm others get harmed themselves. Dear prince, don't get upset because your stepmother puts you to shame. In a way, she has done good to you. I am sure you are as desirous as your brother to sit on the throne. But banish hatred from your mind and do as she has asked you to do." And what was that? Worship Lord Hari with all your devotion. Your grandfather and great-grandfathers worshipped Lord Hari and achieved things which other great men could not. They even reached the heights which others could only dream of. You are born in the family of such great men. Go and pray to Lord Narayan, and you are capable of getting what you want from him. What a wise mother. Instead of adding more hatred in the young son's mind, turned his attention towards God. Dhruv listened to his mother intently. Now he knew his mission. He fell at his mother's feet and obtained her blessings. He left the palace as he did not want to live in such a place even for a moment. Total renunciation. And he was rushing towards a forest. At that time, Dev Rishi Bhagwan Narad came to know about Dhruv's plight and his leaving for the forest. He appeared before Dhruva, because as you know that he can appear anywhere. So he appeared there, placing his divine right palm on his head. He blessed him. Looking at young Dhruv, he felt surprised and said to himself, all the divine power of a prince can be seen on your face. What brightness, what resolve. He is still a young boy. How deeply the cutting words of his stepmother have struck his heart. He was thinking it to himself. And he smiled gently and said, dear child, where are you going? It appears as if you have left home after quarreling with someone. You are a very young boy. It is not proper to quarrel with elders and leave home in a huff. Dhruv looked at this divine face of the sage, full of love and benign smile. And when he heard his soft, loving words, he was almost enchanted. He fell at the sage's feet and said, "O Holy One, how did you know about me?" Because Dhruv did not tell him all that. But Dev Rishi Narad knew, being a Dev Rishi. Dhruv said, my heart finds no solace. My stepmother's harsh words have cut deep into my heart. Dev Rishi Narad said, dear child Dhruv, you are on your way to please Lord Hari, as suggested by your mother, aren't you? It's not that easy. Even great sages, after years of devoted hard effort, have failed to find the way to attain the feet of Lord. Dear child, give up your stubborn desire and go back home. When you grow old enough, you can attempt this almost impossible task. Because he was a very young boy at that time. Dhruv listened to the sage's words and said in great reverence, O Holy One, it is rare that persons like me get an opportunity to see you. You have come to me on your own to help me and advise me. I am a Kshatriya. The stepmother's words still pierce my heart. Your words of wisdom do not get into my mind, full of tension. O greatest among the great, I have resolved to attain what none of my ancestors have achieved. It is going to be the most exalted state in all the three worlds. Please show me how to reach. Sage Narad was very much pleased at the young prince's resolve. He placed his right hand on his head and blessed him, saying, the way suggested by mother is the best and the most blessed way to achieve your heart's desire, dear child. Pray to Lord Vasudeva with great devotion and concentration. You can get everything that will make your life opulent, blessed, and successful. Righteousness, wealth, desires, and salvation are the four Purusharthas. Purusharthas are the four aims of a human being, or the objectives of a man. They can be attained only with the blessings of Lord Shri Hari, and it is the only way to achieve the Purusharthas. Dear Prince, may success be yours. Go to a place called Madhuvan. That's where he sent him. And this Madhuvan is on the banks of the Yamuna river, where Lord Shri Hari's presence is always felt by devotees, he said. Have a bath 3 times a day, morning, noon and evening in the holy Yamuna. Perform your daily rites, such as Sandhya Vandan, etc. So he guided him into these prayers and he told him where to go. Then sit on a soft seat in a yogic pose, do pranayama, and bring about the balance of mind and meditate in the following way. Lord Shri Hari, who blesses us with his bounties, is standing before me in a very pleasant and favorable mood. You got to envision that. This is how you meditate, he told him. Visualize God is standing in front of you. His face looks extremely pleasant. His eyes are bright, wide with attractive brows. He has a well-shaped pair of cheeks and red lips with a pleasant smile. So his sage Narad is giving him a form to envision. He is holding the conch, the wheel, the mace, and a lotus in his four hands. He has diamond-studded crown on his head, a pair of earrings, pair of bracelets round his upper arms. And his grand necklace with the cost of diamond and a silk cloth he's wearing make him very attractive. So he gave him a beautiful form to meditate upon. Imagine that Lord is looking at you with great love and affection. If you go on doing this meditation continuously, your mind gets immersed in the Lord. While thinking like this, you have to be chanting the holy name, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the mantra Narad gave to that young Dhruva. So Dhruv, who was instructed by the divine sage, went around the sage 4 times, prostrated before him, and after getting his blessings, Dhruv went into the direction of Madhuvan. After blessing Dhruv, directing him towards Madhuvan, Dev Rishi Narad went to the palace of King Uttanpad, his father. The king felt ashamed of himself when he heard that Prince Dhruv had left for the forest. All the same, he welcomed the sage Narad and said, "Oh, great king, you look sad. What ails you? What are you thinking about?" King said, "Oh, holy sage, I have committed the worst blunder in my life. I spurned my elder son Dhruv, who came to me with all love. He wanted to sit in my lap. I have become the cause of his misery. I understand that he has left the land and has gone to the forest. He must be suffering from hunger and thirst, or he might become a prey to a wild beast. I was afraid of my younger queen and committed this heinous crime. I am really sad." The sage tried to console the king also, because he saw that king was in great sorrow. He said, "Oh dear king, do not be swimming in the sea of sorrow. Do not think that your son is helpless in the forest. He is under the protection of the omnipotent Lord, Shri Hari himself. You are not aware of the greatness of your son. He is going to become very famous. His strength of character is unequaled in all the 3 worlds. He is going to achieve what great emperors of yesteryears have not been able to achieve. He is going to come back to you soon. He is going to add luster to your name." Narad left the palace. After consoling the king, he began to play on the veena, praising Lord Shri Hari, and left Utanpad's land. And what he said about Prince Dhruva became true. So this is just one of the story where you can see that Dev Rishi Narad has helped not only the son, the young boy, but the father also. He put father at peace also. So that's why he was sent, or he is going around giving the direction to the devotees. And next week, I will go through some more stories. So some of these stories are so encouraging that we are also guided by these unforeseen forces. But we have to have the resolve, though. Dev Rishi Narad did not come there to take Dhruv out. That let's go. First, this renunciation came from Dhruva's mind. Renounced everything. Sure, mother guided, but ultimately it was Dhruv who went out into the forest. But then there was clearly a help given to him by Naradji. Where to go and how to meditate. And then consoling the father also, because father is a king. If king is disturbed, that will affect the whole kingdom. So he wanted to make sure that father is at peace also to do his duties. So this is the greatness of that Brahma's son, Dev Rishi Narad. In fact, this word Narad itself has a deep meaning. We all know Da means one who gives. Da. And Nar means the knowledge about God. So we'll see the other stories also like this, which are in the scriptures. In the primary scriptures, these stories are written. So these are the true stories. It happened long ago. Sometimes from the details we think, how can this happen? But whatever is happening now in future generations, they might question this too. What are we doing now? Because with the time, ways and the means do change. But basically, we got to remember the knowledge about the God, direction towards moving towards God, how to meditate, why to meditate. Narad has helped countless people and still helping. So we'll just stop it here and next week start with another story. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnameva Vishishyate. Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much for joining.